you've turned into this mega star on the web. You're a web star. Tell us how that all came about.
Well, I don't know if I'm a star, but yeah, it's been interesting. You know, the world tour here, ASP World Tour, has become it's become such a big draw for people online. We can watch surfing anywhere around the world live. Every event has a live webcast, and so it really has changed the sport of surfing. It's changed the way we view surfing. And you know, back in the day, it used to be we looked at surfing of how many people was on the beach. That was the crowd. Now we're looking to reach all these people who, I mean, personally, I wake up at 2 in the morning sometime to watch my friends compete around the world. And when I was on tour, it was crazy because I would have people call me and go, man, why did you do this in the, you know, whatever it was, whatever competition it was. But people are passionate about it. They love it. And again, you know, we haven't had that much national television with surfing, so we found a way, we found our place on the web.
Are you surprised how it has exploded, the interest in surfing all around the world, even in middle America, even in the backcountry towns, how the interest in surfing has exploded?
Well, without a doubt. I mean, surfing is tough because it is... Hold on for a second. I'm watching Jordy in the background. I can't help it. Speaking of webcasts, it's on right behind your head. Wow, that was a really good way of... Okay, let's start again. What are we talking about?
Have you been surprised how the interest in surfing has exploded around the world, whether it's in middle America or
Right.
some backcountry town or out in the middle of nowhere?
Well, I am surprised that surfing has exploded so much, just because surfing has always been it's been a lifestyle thing, but it's also been the sport of surfing is really to the hardcore enthusiast that lives and surfs every day. But the idea of the lifestyle is what usually gets people excited. But ironically is that they understand the competition. They go to the best places in the world. I mean, it's Tahiti, it's Fiji, it's Australia, Europe, Brazil, these beautiful places, and then here in America as well. And so I think people are drawn in by the stories, the places everyone's going in. Hey, at the end of the day, who doesn't want to be out in the water? You know, there's a lot of beautiful girls around, and everybody wants to be a part of that lifestyle.
Speaking of great stories, Endless Summer 2, man. Let's talk about that just for a second.
Yep.
I mean, when you look back on that time, I mean, that must have been just, when you look back, you got to think.
I'm like, who is that guy?
Were you aware at the time, this is an incredible time in my life, looking back?
Yeah, well, interestingly enough, when the Endless Summer came around, when the opportunity, Bruce Brown asked me to do the movie, I was obviously really honored and I was excited. But it was at a time in my life where I was so focused in on being a professional surfer on the tour that I don't think I realized what the opportunity was until now. And years later, I can't believe the opportunity that I was given and the lifestyle I had. And nowadays, it's like I look and I go, I wish I had the perspective that I have now, and I could do that now. You know, back then it was like, oh yeah, all my friends were traveling around the world. That's just what we were doing. And
But not everybody had a film camera on them.
not everyone had that, and not only that is, we really had a good time. It was very relaxed. It wasn't there was no stress involved with the job at all. It was basically show up and go surfing. And then Bruce would, you know, the funny thing is like, okay, make sure you have a smile on your face. Well, how hard is it to have a smile on your face after you surf for 6 hours a day and they feed you full of food at the end of it?
Well, this cameraman, Gino Salerno, said he's watched it so many times and it's like almost changed his life when it comes to surfing and filmmaking.
Well, it's really cool because one thing I will say is surfing is a small community, and I go surfing every day and I see people out in the water all the time that tell me that, hey, I saw you in the movie, that movie changed my life. And obviously when I was a kid, I didn't think that the movie was going to be life-changing for anyone but myself. But I will say that the experience has been amazing. I've met a lot of people, and the fact that people identify with it, you know, I guess that's the best thing about it, really.
But let's talk just a moment, two more questions. The environment in surfing. Seems like surfers and the environment. When I read stories about surfers, they're concerned about the environment. Let's talk about that for just a moment.
Yeah, well, surfers, I think, have a keen awareness with the environment because they're in it all the time. I live in South Orange County, Laguna Beach to be precise, and we deal with urban sprawl more than probably a lot of places in the country deal with it. I feel that we have an extreme example of it. And what's happened here we're down here at Trestles today. It's a beautiful day. You know, there's a lot of wildlife. There's a creek that runs through, and this is basically an area that is somewhat untouched. And all around us has completely exploded the population. Homes, mini malls, shopping, the entire gamut is 10 miles away. But yet here we are at this beach that's very, I don't know, it's out there on its own. And so what's happened now, places like this are under threat. And so what we're trying to do is raise the awareness and go, look, this is a unique surfing experience. This is what we dream about. And right now it's under threat. We're trying to raise the awareness so people realize that, this is what we fell in love with. Isn't it okay to actually keep something that we like?
One final question. This event, people keep describing it as the Super Bowl
Of surfing?
of surfing on the mainland. You're describing how you feel about that.
Well, definitely. The surfing industry is so strong here in America, and this is the only mainland event. And so here we are. We have the best surfers in the world. There's a world title race at hand. The best young surfers are here as well. We've had crazy crowds every day through the week. The weather's been beautiful, and the surfers feed on that. And the level of performance is so high. And it's just like, if you make that a comparison to the Super Bowl, it has that same energy for the surfers, and they come here and want to compete and do very well. And it's been really good for us.
Pat?
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
I really appreciate it.